Hello, hello, good people. Hello, welcome back to another episode of Make America Think Again with Shauna Vaughn. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Housekeeping first, please hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to the channel right now. Then also remember to like and share any videos that pique your interest, that you want to share with somebody to have a conversation. I don't know, you have a dinner party or something and there's a topic you want to bring up and you're like, hey, listen to what this crazy lady thinks about this. And then you want to ask, go around the table. Hey, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Because that's what this channel is all about. I wanted to incite and invoke thought, critical thinking. I wanted people to use their own deductive reasoning with the information that I give you and come up with your own opinions after actually looking at the information and hearing the information. Because what we have found over the past, 10, 11 years is people have just gone on autopilot. Okay. There are a lot of people that have just gone on autopilot in this country and they aren't researching shit. They aren't reading shit. They aren't doing anything for themselves. They're just following whatever narrative is thrown out to them. Down below, you can find the correct spelling of my name. Also, my IG information. If you need a little pop of news throughout the week, then you can always pop onto my IG page. And then also you have my Cash App there, $1111 Oracle. If you'd like to bless the sister, bless the channel, it would be greatly appreciated. Okay. In this moment, it'd be greatly appreciated. Okay, so let's move on to the news for this week. This past week, we got some news. So this week, Luigi, y'all remember Luigi? Very handsome young man, Luigi. So he was back in court, and he was in federal court. Okay, so in federal court, he basically owned up to what he did. And what he did, well, this is just part of what he read in court, but he was very straight and to the point. He basically said, I pew-pewed Mr. Thompson and he died. I understand that my actions would place him in fear of death or bodily injury. I knew what I was doing was illegal. Okay, so that's just part of the statement that he read. He read it just matter of fact, but also there are other parts of his statement that he read which alluded to and talked about the reasoning behind why he did what he did. So apparently he broke his back sometime in his life, and God, for such a young man to break his back, but that's what happened. And he said that he was in constant pain. Also, in this letter that he wrote, he said that he would constantly try to contact the insurance company and get help with claims and all those sorts of things, and he wouldn't get any feedback. Like nobody would respond, or it was just like you get passed from one person to another. A lot of you understand this, the rigmarole that you go through with insurance companies. But he said what he did to get the information about this investor, it was an investor meeting, was that he called and he pretended to be an investor. And he said that he was an investor with $50 million that he wanted to consider investing in the insurance company. And he immediately got a response and immediately received the information to the event. And that's when he started his planning. So yes, it was premeditated. Yes, these are his words. Yes, it was premeditated. Yes, he knew exactly what he was going to do. He printed out the pew pew on a 3D printer. He planned everything out. He knew his target, etc. And it all stemmed from him personally having some health issues and not being able to get some answers, getting stonewalled every single time he tried to get this and that paid for through his insurance company, United Healthcare. So that's what happened this week. That's the update. Now, here's the other thing. If he is charged through the federal court, his attorneys have the opportunity to get the state charges waived. So people are saying that was an angle as well. We shall see. I will update you as soon as we have more information. All right, so moving on, we did receive some information. I already kind of updated you about the Carmelo Anthony case. Well, his new court dates are this week. They're going to be on the 19th and the 20th in Collin County, Texas. And his family is asking for the community that have supported and prayed for Carmelo to pull up. They basically said pull up to the same courthouse that the proceedings were in before on the 19th and 20th, and just to support the family and to support Carmelo. His dad said that he really wants Carmelo to be able to see all the people that are behind him and supporting him. So they're asking for the community to pull up. So if you are in Texas or Louisiana, somewhere close, and you can pull up, please do to support the family. The two court dates are to deal with the recusal of the previous judge, Judge Roach, I believe was his last name. And then also they're asking for a new trial. Okay, so those are the two dates for that. Nolan Wells' family is having a prayer vigil on the 19th, which would have been his 19th birthday. It is going to be at the Greater St. John AME Church in Mississippi, in Ocean Springs, Mississippi. And Pastor Jamal Bryant will be over the prayer vigil. He will be there to speak and to host or be over this prayer vigil. So those two things are happening. I believe that Reverend Al will be there as well. Reverend Al Sharpton will be there as well. But we got to show up as a community to support these two young men. And speaking of the Nolan Wells case, so his so-called friends have been on a making their rounds on the podcast this past week. Specifically, they're still going back to that race Tatum dude, the coon, the defective Negro, race Batum Tatum. They went back to him, circled back to him. They took their attorney this time. There was so much that you could read in the body language. There were so many things that were said in this last interview that, in my opinion, I want us to encourage them to keep talking, because each time they talk, they give more information and there's more you can read from their body language. And I'm just going to give you three quick things. Let's start with the body language. So you have two of the young men that were on the boat. They kept their hands folded the entire time. The attorney was all the way folded, arms folded, boxed up, right? And then the only one out of the group that seemed to be a little more relaxed was Warren. Warren also seemed to be very relaxed on that phone call to Cito, don't you think? He was either very relaxed or he was inebriated, in my opinion. So that raised suspicion. Now, here's another little tidbit that Warren dropped this past week in this interview. He said that his mother, first of all, he said that he tried to contact his mother by phone. And he said, oh, that the reception out there is spotty. So he had to call his mother 8 times. Now, does that sound like there was a bit of urgency to you? A young man who is trying to reach his mother so desperately that he's calling 8 times. And then he also said that his mother must have been on the other side or the south side of the island. So now we have found out that potentially Judge Ashley was on the island when the incident went down. Just because Warren wants to keep talking. Also in this interview, I want you to go and observe the clothing of all the individuals in the interview. I want you to also go, if you can, watch the Nancy Mace interview. I'm sorry, Nancy Grace interview with these young men's attorneys, the two Cox. If you can watch that interview, I want you to look at the product placement. The behind one of the Cox, there's a perfect placement for of a baseball cap with, their company's name on it, called Cox. And then also on another side, there is a bourbon whiskey bottle. There's a bottle of liquor there. It was one of the first things that I noticed when I started watching the video, because I was like, now why would they have that in the background? Well, guess what? Race Batum Tatum apparently owns a liquor company. It's is it I can't remember the proper name of it, but it's either limited bourbon or it's a bourbon. It's a bourbon, I believe. But Race Batum Tatum owns this liquor that was perfectly placed behind one of the two Cox in their interview. So it just really seems to me that there are a lot of people that are involved in this that are just trying to capitalize off of Nolan Wells' untimely passing. And also, I believe that these young men, in my opinion, are trying to get out in front of the grand jury that we're still waiting on the DA in Ocean Springs to gather and get them, moving. And then also to get out in front of the court of public opinion. I believe that's what this is all about. And also, I am in favor of them talking. Keep talking, because you're going to hang yourselves. And I can't wait. I can't wait for that. More video has come out. You can see there are swimsuits that were worn by one young lady in a previous date, like a date back in June. And unless she's wearing the same bikini on July 4th, then possibly this is a video. Both videos are from July 4th. And then also, could this potentially be the mom that Warren was trying to contact on the island? Because remember, initially they told us there was no reception on the island. Now they're telling us that the reception is spotty. But Nolan's dad told us he had no problem with the reception when he went to the island. So I'm going to keep up and on top of this case, but there is a prayer vigil this week for Nolan Wells that is going to be held at the church in Ocean Springs. And if you are near and you are supporters of the family, please show up and support them in prayer. Moving right along, let's see, what other story did I want to include here? Oh, so I'm going to skip because I want all this other stuff to be together, because that's one big story. So let's skip to the data centers. So the data centers, I'm seeing more and more videos of people, scientists, saying that data centers do not require water, that they don't need water to continue to cool the data centers. And remember how I told you that I believe it's China, they use solar, they don't use water for data centers at all. So more and more people are speaking out about the fact that data centers don't need water. So what is the top 1% and the leaders in this country? Why are they telling us these data centers need water? And what are they doing with all of the water, all the lakes and rivers that are disappearing? Where's all that water going? What is it for? These are the questions that we should be asking. I have my thoughts and theories. Um, they're connected to these bunkers that everybody is building and putting together around this country to prepare for something bigger. That's my theory. Don't have it completely worked out yet, but when I do, I will share it with you. But I want everybody to start looking into and inquiring and showing up to these meetings. If they're trying to bring a data center to your town, to your area, show up to these meetings and ask these companies, is water really necessary? Because human beings, we need water to live, to exist. So, is it really necessary for you and your company to take all of our water? Yeah, the Shark Tank guy is on the top of my tip of my tongue, but I'm not going to bring him into this conversation. Um, I just want everybody to be aware that there are a lot of more people that are speaking out about these data centers, and they're saying that water is not necessary, and we all need to be looking into that. Um, yeah, I'm going to cut that here and I'm going to put the expendables in its own video because I really want you to pay attention to that information. I really want you to be able to hone in on that information. But these are just some of the other stories that are out there that you should be paying attention to that are happening in the United States and actually across the world if you're talking about data centers. So pay attention, folks. I will talk to you soon.